My fiancé said, "Try not to take it personal." I replied, "You taught people not to do this." I froze my credit, rekeyed the door, and pulled fob logs. I sent the video, bank alerts, and loan papers to Riverbend compliance. Then I logged into the family cloud and saw a folder named Estate. I'm a fire inspector, 39. I walk through buildings, test alarms, and look for small problems before they turn into big disasters. I've learned that the quietest danger is the one hiding in plain sight. My condo sat in a calm block of Cedar Glen, the kind of place where people wave with 2 fingers and keep their lawns trimmed. Inside, it was simple and mine. A gray couch with a stitched tear on one arm, a wall shelf of tiny model fire trucks I collected as a kid, a balcony door that always stuck unless you lifted it an inch first. That week, I had planned a small celebration. Nothing loud. I had paid off the last bit of my mortgage early, and I wanted one peaceful evening before the next round of inspections started. I picked up lemon chicken from my favorite place and 2 slices of carrot cake. My parents were coming. So was my brother Brent. And my fiancée Tessa was already at my condo, helping by wiping down counters I had just cleaned. Brent was 36 and had been the special one since we were kids. He had charm like a trick coin. He ran a flashy party DJ business that somehow never made enough money. He always had a new plan, a new expense, and a new reason it was not his fault. My parents always had a soft landing ready for him. I was the floor. When they arrived, my mom walked in like she owned the hallway air. She kissed my cheek and glanced around, counting my things with her eyes. My dad gave me a quick clap on the shoulder. "Good. You're doing well," he said like he was grading a report. Brent came last, wearing sunglasses even though the sun had set. He hugged my mom first, then my dad, then me like I was a distant cousin. Dinner started fine. We talked about weather, traffic, and my next inspection run. Tessa sat close to me and smiled at the right times. She worked at Riverbend Credit Union as a compliance trainer. She taught staff what not to do. Don't access accounts without a reason. Don't share private info. Don't bend rules for family. I used to tease her about it. I called her the rule queen. She would laugh and tap my wrist. Then my mom set down her fork and did that little sigh she used before bad news. "Brent needs help," she said. Brent rubbed his forehead like he had been suffering in silence for years. My dad leaned back. "It's time to be practical," he said. I didn't even chew. I knew what was coming. My mom kept her voice sweet. "We're thinking ahead. About the will, about what goes where." There it was, the leash. "You're the stable one," my dad said. "Brent is still building, he just needs support." My mom nodded. "We want you to give Brent your condo." I actually laughed once because my brain thought it was a joke. Nobody laughed back. My dad's face stayed flat. "You can rent somewhere smaller. You don't need this space. Brent does." And my mom added, "A steady monthly amount just for a while." Brent looked at Tessa. "It's only fair," he said like this was already decided. I put my fork down. "No," my mom's smile tightened. "Cal, don't be hard, you'll be rewarded later." My dad tapped the table once. "We can adjust the will. We can make sure you get more in the end, but you have to show your family." Tessa's hand on my knee squeezed. It felt like a signal. I didn't know what it meant yet. I stared at my parents. "You want me to hand over my home and pay him like an allowance?" My mom's tone sharpened. "Don't talk like that. It's an investment in your brother. In your future." The room felt smaller. The air felt thick. I made a calm voice because I've had to tell restaurant owners their kitchens were a fire waiting to happen. You learn to speak steady even when people get loud. "I'm not doing it," I said. My dad's eyes turned cold. "Then don't expect anything from us when the time comes." That was his favorite weapon, inheritance. Like a door he could lock and unlock. Tessa stayed quiet. Brent leaned back and smirked. After they left, Tessa helped pack leftovers. She kissed my cheek and said, "They're stressed, Cal. Try not to take it personal." "It's pretty personal," I said. She didn't answer. She just slid the cake into the fridge and wiped the counter again, like she could erase the conversation. 2 days later, I was in the underground parking garage at City Hall, walking to my car after filing routine safety paperwork for a new daycare. My phone buzzed. bank alert, a transfer attempt, then another buzz, a credit notice, new inquiry, home equity line of credit. My stomach dropped. I stopped beside a concrete pillar and opened the details. Someone had tried to open a loan against my condo, in my name. Then a third buzz came in. A text from a number I didn't know, no words, just a link. I clicked it before I even thought. A video loaded. It was my kitchen. My gray couch was in the background. My model fire trucks were on the shelf. My stuck balcony door was half open, just like I always left it. And in the middle of my kitchen, my mother stood at my counter with a thick folder. Tessa stood next to her, holding her phone like she was scanning something. Brent was there too, grinning, leaning on my fridge like it was his. The video was clean and steady, like it came from a fixed camera. My own door camera, maybe, or the condo hall camera. My mother pulled out papers. Tessa pointed at a line. Brent nodded like he understood anything. Then my mom said something I could not hear and Brent laughed. Tessa looked up at the camera for half a second like she sensed it. Then the clip ended. I felt like I was outside my body watching someone else's life fall apart. I drove home with my hands tight on the wheel. When I walked in, the condo was quiet. Tessa was not there. Her shoes were gone. Her travel bag was gone. My spare key hook by the door was empty. My phone buzzed again. Another message. This time, it was from my grandmother, Nana June. She lived with my parents now because they said they handled family better. "Come by," she texted. "We need to talk." I went because Nana June was the only person in that family who ever slipped me a second cookie without making me earn it. At my parents' house, Nana June sat in her recliner under a crochet blanket. My mom stood behind her, rubbing her shoulders like a puppet handler. Nana June looked tired. Her eyes were watery. I knelt beside her. "Nana, are you okay?" She didn't touch me back. She said, soft but clear, "Your brother is the one we need. You're just the backup." It hit like a hammer because it wasn't my dad saying it. It wasn't my mom. It was Nana June, the person I thought was safe. My mom gave a small nod like Nana had finally learned her lines. I stood up slowly. My throat burned. "How long have you been telling her that?" My dad walked in from the kitchen. "Long enough," he said. Brent appeared behind him like he'd been waiting in another room. He held my spare key between two fingers and tossed it in the air once. My mom lifted her chin. "We needed access for paperwork. Brent needs a place, and you'll get your share later if you cooperate." I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I just felt something cold settle in me. A decision. I walked out without arguing, got in my car, and drove until my hands stopped shaking. At 11:43 p.m., I called the first lawyer's number that came up when I searched property fraud and trespass in my county. A man answered on the second ring like he never slept. "Name," he said. "Caleb Vance," I said. "Someone's trying to take my condo." A pause. "You have proof?" "I have a video," I said, "and bank alerts." He exhaled once. "Meet me, 12:30, Westside Diner, booth 8. Westside Diner smelled like burnt coffee and fryer oil. The vinyl seats were cracked. The waitress called everyone Han. Booth 8 had a man in a dark coat with silver hair and calm eyes. He looked about 67. His hands were steady when he opened his folder. "I'm Lowell Hart," he said. "I've seen families do worse than strangers." I slid my phone across the table and played the video. He watched without blinking. When it ended, he nodded like he'd expected it. "First," he said, "freeze your credit tonight. You can do it from your phone. Second, change your locks tomorrow. Third, stop talking to them without me." "They're using inheritance like a weapon," I said. Lowell's mouth twitched, not quite a smile. "They always do. It's a string they think they can pull forever." I swallowed. "What if they already moved things?" "Then we find the trail," he said. "Money, location, messages. One of those always leaks." By morning, I had done what he said. I froze my credit. I changed every password I could think of. I called my condo building office and removed my parents from any approved guest list. I paid for an emergency locksmith to rekey my door. I also did something I never thought I would do. I locked Tessa out. I still had love for her somewhere under the shock. But love does not stop theft. Within 48 hours, I knew who had helped them besides Tessa. In the video, there was a quick flash of a stamp on the papers. I paused it and zoomed in. L. Morin, mobile notary. Lowell looked it up in minutes. Lance Morin, he said. Notary, side business, works gigs with your brother. We'll talk to the state notary office later. Then the bank alerts got worse. A small loan had been opened in my name at Riverbend Credit Union. The payment was set to pull from my checking account. The account it fed into was not mine. Lowell had me request detailed records. He explained everything in plain words. Banks track where money goes, he said. People think they're clever. They aren't. The money proof came first. A printed statement showed 3 months of steady transfers labeled family support. I had never made them. The receiving account ended in numbers I recognized from a childhood savings book, Brent's. My chest felt tight. They had been bleeding me slowly like a leak behind a wall. Then we got the location proof. My condo building had key fob logs for the garage gate and elevator. The manager printed them for me because the entries were tied to my unit's guest code. My mom's code had been used 6 times in 2 weeks, always late, always when I was working night inspections. Tessa's code had been used too. And there was one more location trail. Lowell subpoenaed, in simple terms, the parking entry camera stills from my building's garage. He got them fast because we filed it as a fraud complaint with a police report number. The stills showed my mom's SUV, Brent's car, and Tessa's small white hatchback, coming in together, like a team. Now we needed communication proof. Lowell asked me a question that made me feel sick. Do you share any family cloud plan? Photos, documents, anything? I did. A family storage account my dad set up years ago for memories. I hadn't used it much, but my login still worked. When I signed in, there was a folder called Estate. Inside was a shared document titled Vance Family Plan Draft. My dad had written notes inside it like he was planning a house remodel. Transfer condo to Brent before probate. Caleb will comply if will promise is clear. Remove Caleb if he resists. Trust rewrite scheduled. There were email screenshots too. My mom had forwarded them to the folder like it was a safe place. An estate lawyer's assistant had sent an appointment reminder. My parents and Brent were meeting her next week. Subject line, will update and property assignment. I stared at that screen until my eyes hurt. Inheritance pressure in Act 1. Now the receipts showing the real plan in Act 2. Lowell tapped the table. They weren't asking, he said. They were setting you up. Then came the killer receipt, the one that made everything snap into focus. Lowell asked, did you ever create an online account with the county recorder for your deed? I had. Years ago when I bought the condo, I barely used it. We requested the login history. 2 days later, it came in. A list of access times, device types, and IP addresses. There it was. A login from a tablet at 2:14 a.m. on a night I was out inspecting a downtown club. The IP address traced back to my parents' home internet. Someone had used my account to start a property transfer request. They didn't finish it, likely because the bank flagged the loan attempt and froze the process. My mom had been sitting in her own house, using my name, trying to move my home like it was a chess piece. I felt strangely calm. In my job, when you find a hidden gas line in a wall, you don't scream. You shut it down and clear the building. Lowell set the next steps like he was reading a grocery list. We file for a restraining order for your property access, he said. We report identity fraud. We notify your building management, and we hit your fiancée's job with the truth. My stomach turned at that last part. She did this, I said, and it sounded like I was saying it about someone else. Lowell nodded once. And she works in a place with rules. They'll care. We served the first official papers on a Saturday afternoon. Brent was hosting a public open-deck DJ event at a community center fundraiser. My parents were there, smiling and shaking hands. Nana June sat in the front row, wrapped in her blanket, looking proud. Lowell didn't raise his voice. He walked up with a manila envelope and asked for my parents by name. My mom's smile froze when she saw him. My dad tried to puff up. "What is this?" Lowell spoke clearly. "Notice of trespass, order request, fraud complaint attached. You are not to enter Caleb's property again." People nearby went quiet. Someone dropped a plastic cup. Brent stepped forward. "This is family," he hissed. Lowell didn't even look at him. "Family can still break the law," he said. My mom's face went red. "You're embarrassing us." I stepped forward then, calm. I held up my phone. "I have you on video in my condo," I said. "I have the garage logs, I have the bank trail, and I have the county login history from your house." My dad opened his mouth, but no sound came out. Brent's sunglasses slid down his nose. His eyes darted around like he was looking for an exit. That night, we made the institutional strike. I sent a packet to Riverbend Credit Union's compliance director, a woman named Marcia Halprin. I didn't send it with anger. I sent it like a report. Clear, short, evidence attached, video stills, loan documents, transfer logs, the shared estate document, the unauthorized account access. Marcia replied the next morning. "Thank you. We will investigate immediately," she wrote. Tessa called me 3 hours later. "Cal, please," she said, voice shaking. "They're questioning me." "You didn't have to do that." I kept my voice level. "You taught people not to do this," I said, "and you did it," she cried. "Your parents said you'd forgive me. They said the will." "The will," I repeated. She went quiet. "Where are you?" I asked. "I'm at my sister's," she whispered. Then she said something I will never forget. "I thought if I helped them, they'd finally treat me like real family." I felt tired. "You helped them steal from me," I said. The next day, Tessa was placed on leave. A week later, Marcia told Lowell that Tessa's employment was terminated for breaking privacy rules and handling accounts without proper reasons. The notary board also opened a complaint on Lance Morin. Brent's community center world started pulling away from him fast. People don't like a thief when they can see the proof. For the judgment piece, Lowell asked me, "Who matters to them socially?" My parents cared about image more than air. So we went to Imam Qasim at the local mosque where my parents liked to be seen, even though our family wasn't deeply religious. They liked the respect. Imam Qasim was an older man with a gentle voice and sharp eyes. He looked through the evidence and asked only one question. "Is this true?" he said. "Yes," I said. He nodded and closed the folder. "Then I will speak to them." 2 days later, my mom showed up at my door, pounding like the building was on fire. I didn't open it. Through the peephole, I saw her face wet and twisted. "Caleb," she cried. "Please, we didn't mean it like that." Behind her, my dad stood stiff, jaw tight. Brent lurked behind them, hands in pockets, looking smaller than usual. Lowell had told me not to talk, so I didn't. My mom dropped to her knees on the front lawn like it was a stage. "Don't do this," she sobbed. "Think of the inheritance. Think of the will. We can fix it." I slipped an envelope under the door instead. It was the formal notice from Lowell, no contact, no entry, all communication through counsel. My mom saw the envelope and started crying louder like volume could change facts. My dad finally cracked and shouted, "After everything we did for you." I didn't answer. I stood in my hallway, back against the wall, listening to them break themselves against a boundary they never believed I could build. A month later, we sat in a mediation room downtown. Beige walls, a pitcher of water nobody drank. A long table that felt like a cold line between people. My parents came with tight faces. Brent came with a cheap suit and the same smirk that kept slipping when he got nervous. Tessa didn't come. She had already vanished from our shared life like smoke. Lowell sat next to me like a stone. The mediator spoke in soft words. The goal was simple. Who pays what? Who stays away from what? How to stop more damage? We were winning. The condo stayed mine. The fraudulent transfers were reversed. The bank flagged my name for extra protection. My parents had to repay a chunk of money that had been pulled out. Brent was barred from my building. Then my dad tried the last trick. He leaned forward and said, "We'll cut you out of the will if you don't drop the reports." There it was. Act 3, inheritance leverage. My mom sniffed and added, "You can still have everything later, Caleb. Just stop this now." Lowell slid a paper toward me without saying a word. It was a legal form in plain language, a waiver. a full otekase of any future inheritance claims from my parents. It meant I was choosing nothing from them. No house, no money, no later. It also came with a no-contact agreement that said they could not reach me except through the lawyer. If they broke it, there would be real penalties. The mediator blinked. "Are you sure?" she asked. My dad's face lit up like I had fallen into his trap. "He won't do it," he said. "He's too greedy." I picked up the pen. In my job, when a fire keeps flaring because someone won't stop feeding it, you don't negotiate with the flames. You cut the fuel, I signed. My mom made a sound like she'd been punched. "No," she whispered. "No, you can't." My dad's face went pale. His mouth opened and shut. Brent looked at my parents, confused, like he didn't understand what it meant when the leash snapped. Lowell took the paper, checked it once, and nodded. "Done," he said. "I didn't say I'm done." I didn't say anything dramatic. I stood up, pushed my chair in, and walked out of that room as if I had just passed an inspection. That evening, I didn't go back to my condo right away. I didn't want to see them parked outside. I didn't want to hear begging through the door again. I stayed in a spare room above my coworker Mateo's garage for a few weeks. It smelled like sawdust and motor oil, a tiny bed, a cheap lamp, quiet. It was the first quiet I had felt in years. 2 years later, a letter found me anyway. It came by certified mail to my new post office box. My name was written in my mother's careful handwriting. I didn't open it. I handed it to Lowell's office. He logged it and returned it unopened, just like the agreement allowed. A few months after that, a mutual cousin tried to message me on social media. "They miss you," he wrote. "Nana June is asking." I blocked him too. It wasn't anger anymore, it was safety. 5 more years passed. I transferred to a different city about 600 miles away where nobody knew my family story. I worked my way up from inspections to supervising a whole district. By 46, I was deputy chief over prevention. New crews, new routes, new buildings. I bought a small house with a porch and a garden box. I took up kayaking on calm mornings, the kind where the water looks like smooth glass. I liked the quiet rhythm of the paddle, forward, forward, no backtracking. I met Marisol at a volunteer event for a river cleanup. She was 40, steady, warm, and honest in a way that felt rare. She worked as a wildlife rehabilitator. She had patience for messy things, but she didn't let them bite her twice. One evening, on the same week of the year I used to celebrate paying off that condo, we sat at a riverside park with food from a little taco truck. The paper wrappers were greasy. The air smelled like grilled onions and river wind. The sun slid down behind trees like someone dimmed a lamp. Marisol bumped her shoulder against mine. "You're quiet," she said. "I'm okay," I told her, and I meant it. Across the water, a city bridge glowed with streetlights. I watched the lights reflect on the surface, steady and calm. For years, my parents told me love came with a price tag and a promise and a will. They thought they could move my life around like papers on a table, but I learned something simple. Some doors are meant to stay sealed, and some fires only go out when you stop feeding them. Thanks for watching until the end. Like, share, and subscribe.